Hey, what's up everybody? Back with another how-to. Today we're going to be doing spark plugs on this 2012 Kia Optima 2.4 GDI non-turbo. This is going to fall in line with any third gen Kia Optima, which is 2010 to 2015. So let's get into it now, guys. All right, guys, so as you can see, we're inside the car. The car has 79,269 on it. Now, this is not my car, this is my neighbor's. I do maintenance at his request. He is the original owner. Spark plugs have never been done on this. If you go check back on the channel, I did the valve cover gasket on here. I let him know at that time that the spark plugs were really oily from the spark plug seals leaking. So he finally got an engine code on here, and we're gonna go ahead and plug this up and read it now. And I checked it the other day, should be a 301, which is a first cylinder misfire. And there we go, guys. So we do have the P0301. So we're gonna start with the plugs, of course. They need to get done anyway. So let's go ahead and get into the plugs now, guys. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna take off this negative battery terminal. For a precautionary measure, it is a 10 mil. I just use a 10 mil ratcheting wrench and you should be able to pull the terminal right off. All right, so the next step is we're going to pull off this engine cover. It's just a plastic cover covering up the components we need to get to. So all you have to do is pull up on this and it'll pop right off. All right, so we have our 4 coils right here. So basically we're just gonna go one by one. I'm gonna pull a coil out, put a plug in, put the coil back in, and then just move down the line one by one. So the first thing is pretty simple. We're just gonna take the harness off. Now, this has a gray clip with a little bit of red markings on it. You pull this back, and you should be able to push the clip in and pull the harness right off of the ignition coil. So from here, all we have to do is remove the ignition coil, which is a 10 mil bolt, and we're gonna go ahead and get that out with the drill right now. All right, guys, 10 mil, got it on my drill. You can do a ratchet or a drill, your choice. All right, get that thing back right off. And what I like to do is keep the bolts in a magnetic tray just to keep them from getting lost or misplaced. So now we can go ahead and pull our coil up. We got her out, and the good thing is she is looking hella dry from when I cleaned it last time when we did the valve cover gasket, so that's good. So now let's go ahead and get the plug out. All right, guys, so the spark plugs are a 5/8 spark plug socket. So I got a 5/8 spark plug socket, a reasonable extension, 3/8 ratchet. Go ahead and go down into the cylinder. Got her loose. Yep, breaking loose now. Now I'm just fingering it the rest of the way out. There she goes. Let's check her out here. Like I said, they were drenched in oil prior. Looks like she dried up pretty good here. So, not great, not horrific, but let's get to the new plug, guys. All right, guys, so ready to put the new plug in. Now, we went with the OEM plugs. Now, this is the Hyundai Kia part number. It's 18847-11160. Now, they are Denso plugs. So here is a comparison of the original Denso to the new one. And the Denso part number is FXU16HR11. So these are the OEM plugs. Got them right from Kia. They are Densos, as you can see. These plugs have never been replaced in this car. Has the original factory Denso iridiums, and we got the same thing. So next thing we're going to do here is go ahead and check the gap. Now the gap should be 0.44. Now I'm going to check this original one first, and it looks like it's at 55 or 56. Let's check the new one. Yep, that's right at 44, guys. See that? That one is right. So now before we drop the spark plug into the cylinder, I'm taking a little bead of anti-seize and I'm going across the threads here. Anytime you do plugs, you do want to put just a light bead of anti-seize on the threads to make it easier on yourself next time you go to take them out. And I just got a little bit on my fingers here, and you can see I just spread it across the threads. So now this thing is ready to go ahead and get dropped in. Go ahead and put it in our spark plug socket here. And we'll go ahead and drop her on down. Now I'm just going to start by fingering this in here. Now all I'm going to do is get this finger tight, and then I'm going to tighten it about a turn just so it feels tight in the cylinder. I couldn't find the torque spec for the spark plug, so now that that's finger tight, we're gonna go ahead and just barely tighten it in. That's barely a turn, guys. I mean, I moved it maybe this much and it's tightened. So got that plug in there, guys, and we're gonna go ahead and put the coil right back in there. All right, now that we got the plug in there tight, we're gonna go ahead and drop our coil right back down in there. Just make sure it's clean before you put it back down in there if you had any grime or oil or anything like that. Go ahead and drop the 10 mil on here. Just gonna finger tight this in. Now, if you look at this diagram right here, the torque spec is 2.9 to 4.3 foot-pounds. We're gonna convert this into inch-pounds. I wanna go to 4 foot-pounds, and that would be 48 inch-pounds. So let's go ahead and torque that 10 mil to 48 inch-pounds. There it is, guys. Got the click, torque to 48 inch-pounds. Felt perfect, and we're gonna go ahead and slide our clip back on, press the gray clip, and we have officially replaced our first plug. Now we're just gonna do the same thing and work our way down for the last 3. All right, guys, we're on to our second one in from the driver's side. So remember, we're gonna pull our gray clip back, press the tab, harness off. Go ahead and break that 10 mil. Okay, got the 10 mil out. Coil should come right out. Looks pretty dry to me. Now we're gonna go ahead and put our 5/8 spark plug socket down there. Broke her loose with one hand. All right, go ahead and finger this the rest of the way out. There she is. See if this one dried up like the other one did. Yeah, she's pretty dry, man. That's good. So these at one point were drenched in oil from the valve cover leaking, and you know, I noticed that when I did it, told them, and looks like our valve cover is definitely sealed now. Looks pretty good still, but let's go ahead and get that new plug in. All right, guys, so let's check the gap on this one here. Perfect, 44. Came with the perfect gap. Let's go ahead and get some anti-seize spread across these threads here. All right, we got some anti-seize on her. And put her in our 5/8 spark plug socket. Go ahead and drop her down. Same thing as last time. Finger tight all the way, and then just do the slightest turn with a ratchet after she's tight. So let's go ahead and get her finger tight. Our guys got her finger tight, and you'll see the minimal amount of turn. That was it. That's all you need. All right, make sure your coil is clean. Go ahead and drop it back down the orientation. Grab your 10 mil. Go ahead and finger tight that in. All right, that's finger tight. And remember, we are torquing this to 48 inch-pounds, which is 4 foot-pounds. And there it is, snugged in. Let's get our harness back on. Press it on. Gray clip. Bang. That one's done, guys. On to the next one. This one's a hair over 44. Yeah, it's like 46. I'll give it a nice tap. Should get it right down to 44. Yeah, there we go. Anti-seize. All right, guys, we are on to the last plug. As by now, I'm sure you probably know the routine. So go ahead and pull your gray clip back, pop the tab, 10 mil on the ignition coil. Go ahead and get that out. 10 mil out, coil out, very easy, looking dry. Now all we have to do is go ahead and break our plug loose. Got it loose. Pull the plug out, not the plug. All right, let's check our gap on this last plug here. And yep, she's good, 44. A little bit of anti-seize across the threads, just a nice bead spreading it across. All right, got the plug in. Let's drop her on down. Get her started. Remember, we want to get it finger tight, as tight as it can be. And then we're just taking our 3/8 drive ratchet and just giving it the slightest turn to get it snug. Let's go ahead and drop our coil back into the cylinder. Grab your 10 mil. And remember, we're just going to go ahead and finger tight this 10 mil on down. And then once we have this finger tight, we are torquing it to 4 foot-pounds, but we are converting that into 48 inch-pounds because I am using an inch-pound wrench. It's a lot easier than trying to measure 4 foot-pounds. Torqued in. That's good. All we have to do, plug our harness up, and bang. All 4 plugs are replaced, guys. Very easy, pretty straightforward. If you do have trouble getting a plug out, one thing I could recommend is tightening it a little. Once you start breaking it loose, tighten it a hair, then unturn 2, tighten it 1, unturn 2. Something you can do to try not to warp or strip anything. Just take it easy, don't go crazy. But all these came out easy, got all of them in, everything torqued in. All we need to do now is reconnect our 10 mil on our battery terminal and put the cover back on, and we have officially replaced our spark plugs in this 3rd gen Kia Optima 2.4 GDI.